to the newsroom. My name is Laura Nalugwa, and please stay put as we delve into very interesting conversations. James, you're welcome to the show.
Thank you, Laura.
How are you, first of all?
I'm good. Breathing fresh air.
It was a long journey for us to get here to reach you.
Thank you for taking the...
It was interesting, but it was good. So, straight into it, I want us to talk about the James that had a passion, the young James. How did James get into journalism? How did we, before we knew the great photojournalist or journalist, James Akena? Take us back as a young man.
Yes. Thanks so much, Laura. Journalism was a product later on that came in. But before that, indeed, I just had that fantasy about cameras. I loved it so much, and I love creating the images. So I grew up with that passion, and eventually I discovered that there's something called journalism possibly in me, that specifically photojournalism, telling stories using pictures. So way back then, of course, cameras were hard to come by, but I was able to struggle around through all possible means to acquire one of those, the old type.
What was your first camera?
My first camera was called a Yashica. It's some Japanese model. It was very famous then. And yes, that's the first camera I bought. Absolutely manual. And yes, that's what I use first.
So fast forward, this was happening when you were still back home here in Gulu?
No, in the early 80s, okay, in the late 80s, that's when I moved across from Gulu to Kampala because of the insurgency here, so we couldn't settle. So while I was in Kampala, after moving from here, of course I was in the IDP camp, just across Takaroma here for quite some time. Then eventually moved and joined my uncle who lived in Kampala. Then eventually, yes, I completed my education from there. Then was able to, yes, get some casual work to do. And the savings, I used it to purchase my first camera.
Do you remember the first photo that you took with that first camera that you got?
Yes, I did not study the photography at first. I had the passion. I had the passion. So I subscribed for photo books, magazines that came once a month from the US. And by reading, I was able to teach myself the foundations of photography. Then the picture that I first love, I took with my camera, the Yashica. It was at the Botanical Gardens in Entebbe. It was a tree trunk against the sunset. So it formed like a silhouette, not high definition picture. It is basically shades of brown and black against the setting sun, and the orange of the sunset looks so beautiful with all these blacks against it, so it is formed as silhouette. It was beautiful. Yeah, that was my...
So along the way of loving pictures, doing photography, at what point did you decide that, or at what point did you feel like journalism is the way to go?
Back then, I was a street photographer. I just took pictures of whoever wanted a picture taken. And I spent more time just taking picture of anything that I thought pleases me, made me happy. And then people realized that I love photography because I had a lot of conversation in that line. So there was a studio called Phototech at Pioneer Mall, former Pioneer Mall. Now there's some other structure in that location. And it was owned by somebody from Kavale. I don't remember his name. So whenever I was there, my other people came in with their pictures. These were like analogs. So films, and they don't talk much about, but for me, every picture that I took had a purpose. And then I would spend time to explain. Then I stood out more uniquely because I was trying to produce my imagination, and then I would talk a lot about it here through pictures. So I was spotted by the owner of that studio, and he was like, wow, there's something about you. So do you mind working in a studio here? I said, what would you like me to do? Of course, to help them sort of pictures, and actually I started a photo studio for him within his processing studio to start taking pictures of whoever wanted a picture taken, especially the passport size pictures. So it was from there that I took the first, the mug shot that the late Sebagala, the mayor, used for his campaign then, presidential campaign. Yes. While I worked there, I used to go to Sheraton Gardens. People would call me for garden pictures of their weddings, and I would come and do it. But my kind of photography was of my own creation, I would say, because I would do cross-processing. It's small, maybe into details, but they're not necessary. So I did not use them. The foundation knowledge was good, but I also had to bring in my own craziness into what I do. So there's something called C41 chemical for processing the C6, for example. So I do cross them. Instead of putting it there, I put it there. So the picture comes out looking very different and very unusual. And then it's like an art, but it looks good to my imagination, to my eyes, and also it fulfills my imagination. I mean, that is it. So that's a creativity in me. So while I was there, and then Internet Face of Africa, Mnet Face of Africa was one of those programs run by Mnet, and they had a competition. This competition included, the designers. It is like a beauty show. So people from across Africa, girls, came together, and it was held at the Sheraton Hotel. The president's daughter was one of the designers, and they were looking for a photographer, someone to come and take a picture of her creations. She had a workshop somewhere in what is it called? Uma Showground. Yes, there's a workshop there, and he did creation for the girls. So they were looking for a photographer to come and take this moment for her. Yes, a costume. So they came, and then somebody, I think, recommended me. So I went in, and with that crazy idea, and then I went and did some pictures for her. So New Vision wanted some pictures for their publications. The newspaper. And then when I did my pictures, and they loved it. So they did a spread for the beauty, for the design page. And that's how eventually...
When New Vision took these pictures from you, were you paid?
Yes, they paid me for those pictures. Yes, they did. I don't remember how much they were paying per picture.
How
And
was
then
your feeling seeing your pictures in
it,
the paper?
very exciting, very, very
Who did you
exciting.
call?
Huh?
Who did you call?
After seeing the pictures, I don't remember, but I was happy. I mean, the conversation even went higher within the studio where I worked, because that's where I processed the picture from. And Mr. Chigundu, he runs an event at Phototech. It was called Phototech. Yeah, I think so. And yeah, I became well known because of that. Then the New Vision picked me up to do the weekend, papers. So I was running around for night events to do pictures, and they were using them. And that's how I got into the newsrooms.
So you left New Vision. After working for New Vision, where did you go?
Yeah, there was a moment when I think we became too many in New Vision, so there was something called layout. So we were being laid out. At the same time, will I use the reverse of that? We were being laid, the monitor was laying in, it was actually recruiting. So in the process, some senior people from Vision moved to Monitor. So when they moved to the Daily Monitor, they need to make a mark. So they need to fish out some people to go and join them there. And yeah, that's how we crossed. And then moved on to
Share
the
with us
Daily
your
Monitor.
time at the Monitor. Now you've joined active journalism. Have you left the phototech job?
Yes, of course, at that time now, yes, I would still do stuff at at the studios, but I did not have too much time for them anymore because I had I had a lot of time elsewhere to do more of the newsroom kind of thing. So when I left Vision for Monitor, of course, I was a staff at this time. I was a freelancer at the Vision, and I had a daily routine. So it was more engaging. I had to get involved quite prominently. And while at the Monitor, that is when I also realized more about my potential in storytelling, because the Reuters also got me from there. They did not need a staff, but they need someone who could, from time to time, whenever they need something, to fill in. Yeah, to fill in. So I became available for them. And more specifically, with assignment, which was few of us had an opportunity to go for it. The LRA first meeting and negotiation with the government. So I was in that team, and then I went in for Monitor, and the Reuters needed that pictures as well. So that's how they got me on. Yeah. So at the Monitor, of course, it got more even fulfilling because I was able to cover these big major events. Yeah, and then I was also contributing now for the Reuters News Agency.
So, James, you're one of the few journalists that first ventured into working with international news agencies in the country. There was a first slot that I think had the airlines, and then you as well. As of now, what advice would you give the young journalists when they're doing their work? What is that thing that you did that you feel made you different to be spotted by Reuters that a young journalist can do right now? Any advice to the young journalists to how to do their work, to have sort of like a niche that if I'm looking for a good picture, I have to call James?
You see, it is so important to have a passion, have that satisfaction yourself first in what you do, especially in the picture industry, photography. Have the passion for it and do all it can to make yourself happy before you make anybody. They will appreciate your product. So output it. Do all it takes, and don't be locked down because of the rules. At times, by breaking the rules, you actually create something that you would not have otherwise created. So love to outdo yourself, the imagination. Do it and challenge yourself, And the passion, once you're passion driven, honestly speaking, sky is the limit. And I don't look for fame. No, I don't want it. I just want to satisfy my curiosity, my innermost desire in doing what I'm doing. I don't do it because of money, no. I did not do all this from the start because of money, no. Just because it was some, I don't know, that madness in me. That was my identity, I did it, and I have got piles and piles of, negatives and printouts of whatever made me happy. If it's a shadow, then I would spend time to output that shadow to make me happy. In that regards, I would share with you a small story about water drops. So there's so many, these cameras, they have different settings. There's a macro setting, there's macro lenses, there's wide angles, and then there's a tele lens, there's a super tele. All of them, they are meant to bring out pictures in different ways depending how you use them. So I want to specifically talk about super macro. Super macro, I can actually take out that pimple, that little tiny pimple on your face. It will look like Mount Renzori. So I need to go close, come super close, and I should be able to focus on it to bring out that tiny bit of that, and then it looks huge. It looks like, what is this? So I can go just for your eyeballs. I need to. So I went for the little water droplets. And then the closer I go to the water droplets, I begin to realize a lot of other reflection is speaking from the leaves, from the lights around. And then I produce so many photographs of this.
From the different angles.
Different angles, different light settings inside there, make it more lighter, make it less lighter, make it very dark. So each of these produce images that once printed out, you're like, hey, how did you even think of this? So that is the bits the youngsters have got to do. Go out. When you take a picture, do it totally. Make sure after you have walked out, you have not missed a thing. So sit down, you're the first editor, pick up what makes you happy first, and then trim it down to the last few that will make you happy, and then present it. That is your piece of journalism in you, that the world will see, they print it out, and it accompanied the story by the writer, Yes.
Are there any principles that you followed as a journalist?
Of course, there are guidelines, there are principles in journalism.
Yes.
There specifically in photojournalism.
These are my principalities and I do not.
Yes. Number one, once I'm going for a project, I must know the project I'm going for. Once I'm going for a project, I must plan. And I need to know the project. If it is going to be a project of feature, there's no violence. So certain of this, I'll put them away. I'll just go down, think about the lighting, think about the subject I'm going to photograph, and then what time should I go for it. If it's going to be something that is possibly can't be like violent, then I need to think about my safety. Those are some of the principles I need to consider. I need to think about my safety in case it goes out of hand, which way to go. Maybe it doesn't not go out of hand, which way, what should I do? And then, of course, have I carried my first aid kits, the contacts, safe areas, unsafe areas, And then, of course, while you go into this, then you would have known how to get in, how to get out. And then, yeah, basically, those are some of the things.
So James, let's go down to August 2018. Protests are happening in Kampala because of the arrest of MP, the late MP Mohamed Seglinya, and Chagulanyi. At that time, he was member of parliament for Chadondo East. Take us through that day, the morning. You went to work. You were assigned that you're going for this. Take us through how the day unveiled.
Well, as usual, the way I started at first, my work, I don't do anything unplanned. If there's a breaking news, still I need to quickly go and plan it. How am I going to get in? How am I going to get out? What is it? Safe way in and safely back. So, August 20th. So on the 19th of that year, on the 19th, August 19th, that's when I got a call about the civil society planning a protest in Kampala. I was in here in Gulu. I'd started the GOAT project, so I was in Gulu trying to oversee. Then when I got that tips, I was like, okay, because I was closely monitoring what was happening in Arua. Because while he was there, you remember what happened to him. And these are the kind of stories that the so-called Western media loves. So there was a lot of violence in there. You remember there was killing as well. Some people lost their lives and arrests were made. Even him, Bobi Wine, also was arrested. So I don't remember whether on the 19th or on the 18th, but he was brought to Gulu. So the protest in Kampala, I wrote to my news agency, the Reuters. So they said, okay, give us the details, right? And then mail back and forth. And it was approved. So yeah, I can go for it. I was like, okay. So I decided not to drive because I would get so tired. So I picked a night bus. And then I was there by the morning hours. And, super early in the morning, by around 5, we were already in Kampala. So I had to wait in the bus at dawn. I got my equipment and then got ready. I got my flak jacket, my helmet, branding, to look a journalist, because I believed following the incidences, what happened in Arua, probably that was possible. So got my gears. So I did a recce. A recce is just to see, where am I going? How does it look like? So early morning, by around 7 o'clock, it was meant to be, it was cold, organized by the city square in Kampala. So I moved around and there was no deployment, there was no nothing. A few of these ladies bring hot tea around so I drank tea with them. I bought a cup of coffee, warm up myself. So by 8 o'clock, there's nothing. And then I began seeing a few police officers coming in, anti-riot police. Then moved on. Then I took a walk and went for breakfast in one of those cafes. And then by 10 o'clock, I came in. Yes, the city square was kind of cordoned, but there was no sign of protest, of protesters. And then I moved on. And then I called my office to update them, because 10 o'clock, that was quite late now. And then I was like, maybe it has been called off, probably. And then I was also preparing to call off this. Then it was at that time when I moved down to Namaiva bus terminal to book my return bus to Gulu. So I moved in and rebooked. So on my way out of Namaiva, that is, I was crossing the driveway through Kisaka Market. Then, of course, it was usual, business as usual. People's spare parts were out for bikes, for vehicles. People were riding back and forth, border. People riding, opening up their business. Most of the businesses were opened. And it looked nothing was really, yeah. But somehow, when you look at the faces of people, there are some question marks, but nothing. They were carrying on. So there is an island that separates the road coming from Chandodo Road, going up towards, Kampala Pentecostal Church, yes, Watoto Church. So as I was crossing that island, then there was a whizzing sound, and then a big bang. It was big explosion, boom, then something whizzed past my head. Of course, with my training, the first thing I did was to hit the floor, because that was explosion. And then I got up after a moment, because I thought maybe there will be secondary bang again, and there was none. But I could see something fizzling out on the ground for me, yeah? And then I was like, what could have this been? I don't know. Up to now, I have no idea what it was. I have no idea. So I took off from my position where I ducked, and then I look for a staircase, and I need safety. We don't want to become the story. So I went underneath that, staircase in that incomplete house. I ducked there for a while. So I was watching people. They were removing stuff, closing up their shops. At that point, I began seeing people running around with tires, throwing them around, then another tire, and then some boxes. It didn't take long, some smoke started around. So in my position of safety, I put on my helmet, branded myself, arranged my equipment, and then I was ready to come and now officially start to do So I came around, people running around carrying their stuff, and then I began to click a few stuff here and there. Yeah. All of a sudden, 3 people. A police officer with 3 stones, with another one private. They had the police officer with a nyota, as the way they call it, had a pistol in his hand. They started firing in the air. Boom, 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 boom. I was like, what's going on? And then the one with the AK-47, not cooking, he was firing. They were discharging bullets, live ammunition. I was like, what's going on? So when I look around, there were 2, 3 well-shaven guys, Shiwalata, next to them, tight, and they look really well built. They were there. I think each one of them had more than 2 phones. Talk on this, talk on the other one. Meanwhile, the firing was continuing. Didn't take long. Some other fellas joined them to set up fires around. Then I knew there was something wrong. But they were simply discharging their ammunition, so most of the shops were closed. And then I walked towards Watoto Church. I walked upward. People in Chikubo close there's a walk with the driveway area there. And then everybody was like waiting, what next, So at that point, I walked up to Kisaka Market. That was quite a while. I took some few shots on my phone, threw it on my WhatsApp, not WhatsApp, on Facebook, for people to know where I was. It's also important. I was alone. There was no journalist there. I was alone for almost an hour. So I walked up. So while I was up there, it didn't take too long before I saw a convoy of police trucks descending towards from Central Police Station direction on Kampala Road, driving towards Bombo Road. Then at that point, I thought they were heading down, and indeed it was. So, but there were military guys with so many heaps of sticks. It is, you know, they were having them, and yeah, all of them were heading. Then they were going, descending down. Then I followed. I was like, okay. And then it was at that moment when I saw some journalists and began to come as well. So they descended down. This looks like a war zone now. They were tough looking. They came down. So I went back to the spot where the explosion, you know, took place. The first bunch of people that started beating was the guys in around the Chikubo area. And they pulled out two fellas from the crowd. They pulled and then dumped them in a car, seriously beaten. I don't know where they were taken. I didn't know much what would follow. So I went down. These guys were discharging this special weapon. You know, this was not the AK-47 anymore. Yeah. And then they went down. They were, of course, I've seen shops being open and people being dragged out and being beaten. And I was like, what's going on? So I followed them a little bit towards, you know, Sauriako. There's a channel somewhere there. So on my way there, somebody asked me, one of those three asked me, are you really a journalist? I looked at him and said, yes, you can see mine. And then I showed my tag, yes. So I don't know, maybe they communicated among themselves, I don't know. So that question, I did not take it seriously until after I was the victim. Nothing happened. I was on my way, I did not even take a picture. So they turned on me. I was now with two other colleagues, I think. They are the one who took the clips that you saw. I have a match, I tell them I'm a journalist, tried to show them this and did whatever I could. No. So they rain all the kind of kick beatings that you saw, mostly concentrating on my head and the back. So I became the story. I became the story. And they were saying it, they're going to kill us. Yeah. Because I was not alone. That truck I was dumped in, we were many. So they were driven from there, taken down to Buganda bus park, the bus terminal. Then from there, many more were brought in. Oh my God, that was, I know. Even if I go to hell, I will never get that kind of beating. I knew.
They took you
and other people. No, I don't remember. I don't remember whether they're journalists. So that was it. From there, we are in that thing, beaten up.
Are they asking questions?
No questions. No questions.
At that time, where are your cameras?
I don't know. They took it. They took it. The camera's gone, the phone gone, my money gone. I lost my watch. I had a very beautiful ring. You know, one of my present by my children, gone. And that was it. And then, didn't take long, we were dumped at the Central Police Station.
After beating you, then they dropped you?
Yes. I had the broken fingers and all that, yes. The pain up there was unbearable. You know, yeah, we were locked. I was locked down there. Without even booking, got in there, then I think it is order from above. So you are sent down. Down there, I found so many others. All we could do just cry, you know, there's nothing else.
So they take you to CPS. Do they take a statement?
No. Like I wasn't booked in. I wasn't. So
They
they've
were safe.
simply taken in, special case probably, I don't know. So I was there. So that ring had badly bent, and that's what actually cracked my finger. Yeah, I had two. One is a complete break. This one broke completely, and then this one cracked because it folded. So while down there, I don't know, maybe for 2 hours or so, then I was called out and set free. And then I was being told it was by mistake I was brought in there. So my colleagues had to pick me up, look for help, medical help. Yeah, that was a journey. Well, those are long stories. The cameras eventually was returned, but of course not the way it's supposed to be.
So your colleagues come, they take you from CPS, they take you for medical help. I'm not hearing you talking about your employer.
Of course, at that point, my employer is on phone. There's no way they can reach me. They started reaching me when I was able to get a phone for them to reach me on. Of course, they send me help and help up with the bills, and they secured my safety because I was not safe at all, even at the hospital where I was.
Oh.
No, I was being followed. They wanted me out of there.
What happened at the
So at the hospital, there were people who came in. They wanted me.
Asking questions.
Not asking questions, asked the administration of the hospital to have me released. They wanted me.
What for?
I don't know. Should ask them. I don't even know them. Yes, they came. So later on in the night, I had to relocate.
You risked yourself out of the hospital.
Yes, I had to go. Of course, the most I needed was a recovery. The damage was done, was a recovery, and the best I would do was to change where I live. So they facilitated me to get out of Uganda and join my family in the UK, and that's where I had to go and recover, or start the recovery, or enhance the recovery process from that horrible, horrific experience that I went through. And
So from your experience as a journalist, how do you think the press freedoms are there? Are they observed from your experience?
you see, press freedom, I don't even understand that word myself. Because who is supposed to provide this freedom for the press? It should have started from the assigning authority. So my boss should be the first to give me the freedom while I work, and also while I'm able to work due to the assignment I'm given. Now, press freedom in terms of access to be a witness at an event, that one in Uganda, I think you need to provide it for yourself. The first freedom and the most important one is by the assigning authority. So these news outlets, they should give financial freedom to their employees or their freelancers they sign out. In event that they get in trouble, they should stand with them, not while still hot, while still in news, while still being, they should be with them. There are those who get incapacitated because of these experiences, exposures. Without them, I wouldn't have been there. Without my colleagues who are getting injured, I don't know whether in Uganda anybody has ever died or passed on because of these assignments. Maybe later because of the injuries, could be there. But do they really stand with them? No. So press freedom, that's why I'm saying I don't even understand it, because to me it is from my employer. How you look after me while I'm on duty, while you look after me when I exit duty without any challenge similar to what I went through, and how you care for me when I get injured during duty. But many times the freedom does not exist, even from the signing of authorities. So press freedom really does not exist
At all.
to me now.
So James, if things were different after the incident of 2018, would you go back to journalism?
What do you mean?
Would you go back and work now?
If what?
Things were different.
Different in what way?
After the whole incident.
Or you meant to say, what happened to me if it had not happened? Would I still be a practicing journalist, photojournalist?
Yeah.
Absolutely. To me, I was born that way.
Do you still have the love for photojournalism?
No,
Why?
because I felt I was more or less brainwashed about journalism.
Say that thing that you usually say. What were you done? You were done what? Out of journalism?
I was beaten out of journalism. They kicked me out.
They coughed you out.
I was coughed out of journalism. No, they didn't cough me. They just kicked me out. They hammered me out of journalism indeed. Yes.
So you made a decision that I am not going back that route.
I cannot. And I really, there's a lot of pretense in this business. These people are business people. They will encourage you. That's why I'm using the word like I felt brainwashed. It is something similar to that. Because in real sense, I believe journalism exists. It really exists. But practically now, no. They're after the good pictures. They're after, the good stories. They're after the good stories, they now want the awards. I was pushed so much to get awards. I said, no, I don't want award. What for? I'm doing what my innermost calling is. Let them know. My bosses used to push me. This, you would have said, no. I don't do it to be awarded. My award is already there already. That it is my innermost desire to tell it. The satisfaction is to bring it out. And that's the reason I gave it my all, my entire, self. After Reuters got me out of Uganda, I was in the UK at the Reuters offices. Journalism here is different story from there. I think the real journalists on the other side. That's why when they come beside, yeah, we highly regard them. It's true. Even the pocket does well. Because my assigning editor, when I was there, I worked. Though I did not have the work permit, they had to send me out to do some jobs. I worked. It is illegal. Because I did not go there to work. I went there as a patient. But the money I earned there was from my work. I did for Reuters, yes. So I worked. Then my assigning editor asked me a question, how many stories do you do per week? I was like, Depends. The times can go for a month without a story. Then I was like, then how do you live? He was very shocked. How do you live? Because I was speaking 3-4 stories a day. There were so many things going here and there, Press conference here, and then I don't know, lots of stuff. Here we'll wait maybe and the homosexual doing that things is a story. There's a protest somewhere, maybe a mudslide in Bududa once in I don't know how many years. So yeah, that's how Ukulembeka, you don't really get it the way they do it there. 4 stories, 5 stories a day. No, I've never done it in Uganda. I'll do one now and then wait until. So they're like, how do you survive? So payment for journalism in Uganda is so unfortunate. And even for people working for foreign media sources from Uganda or Africa for that matter, no, they don't get the real money. Huh? There, yes, they all have credit cards. Here we carry cash. Lukumi, you have it in your wallet there, if it is there. At least these days maybe mobile money, but the payment, no, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. It has happened that some of the, especially the radio journalists, and then they give you an identity, and then find it out from your sources. You remember, I don't know whether it still exists, the brown envelopes, list of journalist houses. At times you'll find from one media house, 5 of them. They don't come to tell the story, they come to sign out for the envelopes. Because the payment is not just worth it. I don't know how it is like now, I don't know. But I don't expect to be any different.
Who do you think is the authority to change that?
The employing authority. Because here, who monitors them? Nobody. And then it is by the name. By the name. What do they do? It's by the name. They don't regulate. As a freelancer, they should have a fix. Maybe payment for. They'll pay you per story, and how many stories are you doing per month? Okay, per day. At the end of the month, the cost of what they have to pay you, you compare the cost of your transport, the cost of living, I mean, you're in trouble. Very big one. Unless you begin doing farming beside, eh? Yeah, unfortunate, yes.
Okay, so James, the equipment, what happened to the equipment? Do you still have any? Do you use them? Do you hire them out? What do you do with them?
Yeah, my image equipment, the cameras, my tripods, my lenses, the camera bodies, filters. I was doing also videos, so sound equipments are there. I just simply, I would say, abandon them somewhere there. They're in the house. I have them.
Oh,
I have them.
take a look. Do you mind?
I'm happy to show you.
Thank you. Have you tried using them since then?
I tried a bit here and there, but I'm not too passionate.
Did you have names for your babies?
No. So yeah, this is one of those.
Oh wow.
Not even charged, out of battery, but yeah, this is one of them. This is some of the hard drives. My computer's been here for such a long time. I've never even powered it. I don't know whether it is powered.
It's not.
Yeah, so that is part of the trauma.
I Are you trying to power it on?
Oh yeah.
For how long has it been off since then?
Hmm?
It has not been on since then.
Yeah. Oh, there's no power.
Oh.
Yeah. This is the yeah, it can't really power then. So we have another one here, I think. Just seated them around. It always stays around there. My gas mask. I don't know when I'll ever wear this again, so yeah. Some of my things are here.
So what do those things remind you of when you see them, when you have them in the house?
The misery. Oh, sorry, I even have batteries.
See? Oh, very many.
Many.
Propel.
Yes, they're there. So these are for sound, filters are in there, I don't know, blah blah blah. I'll check them out and make sure. Maybe I'll donate them to somebody to make use of them.
But don't take them off. Is that to let them?
Maybe I'll donate them, I don't know. But they're always around. Yes.
Wow. At least you kept them.
Yeah, they're around. They've always been here.
So James, try and paint a picture for us where your life is right now, from taking shots, beautiful shots for newspapers, for news agencies, to now popping bottles and growing sunflower. How is your day like how is your life like? When you wake up, how do you imagine, do you think about where you were and where you are now? How does that play out?
Well, things have tremendously changed. Of course, from the clicking club to what I finally got into do. Yeah, there was a period when I had to close down completely and begin to rethink, what is my second option? What next? Because I did not have any interest whatsoever to go back to do what I used to do, photojournalism. And more so, I felt I was abused. It was as if I'm a rape victim, for example, by my former employer, the Reuters. I asked myself very many questions and I couldn't answer them. And then I saw injustice at its worst, and I was a victim of that. So I closed down. I did not want anything to do with photography. I did not want anything to do with picture taking anymore. I just wanted something else. So I asked myself, what plan B? What is there? What is next after this? What do I have to do? Then, of course, this one it dawned on me after considering many other things. I love washing vehicles. It's something I'd started even before, all this thing happened.
Come on.
Then I moved in to start that. Then I was like, it is not enough. What else? So I started a plan B. And my plan B, beside washing the vehicles, was to start a plan B lounge, a bar, where I sell beer, I sell water, I sell soft drinks, I play music. I was a DJ. I became a DJ. I began playing music. I would get on the deck, and indeed, I invested in that systems, and indeed, right now, I sell beers. While it was still small, I started roasting pork. Yes, my sisters and Muslim friends, this was my business. I do roast pork. I learned how to chop it, and I really do it well. I learned how to marinate it, and I know how to get it really good. If you're not a Muslim, get ready. I will give you a bite. So yeah, I started doing that. And then funding it became a problem because all this needed some money at least. So while I was working, of course, I invested in pieces of land here and there. So I decided to dispose some of them off to fund my plan B.
James, I want you to take us through a little bit about your mental health at the time of recovery till you returned to Kampala. How was it? Did you get help when you got back? Did you still have the help afterwards? Did you get any flashbacks? You're now back home and you're not working. You're still trying to figure out the plan B. How was your mental health?
So certainly, there is a high degree of trauma I went through and I still go through. And I believe it is now part of my life. The memory of this is not really nice at all. I could have continued to live in the capital, but this is where it all happened. So I thought it's wise I come back home. I felt much more comfy here. Of course, after these incidents, there are certain things that I couldn't do. I did not like loud sound. I did not like the sight of the military uniform. I did not like seeing guns because it all bring back these flashes. But the best medicine for this is a positivity spirit in me. I need to look at something else that I could do to take my attention away from these others and to accept the change that I'm going through and to accept to let go what I love most in my heart, in my entire, most of my life, I live doing what I've left. So changing to start doing what I do now was part of the healing. And it was not easy at this age, to begin to discover something new. So I give myself, of course, an applaud for this because it takes really a lot of energy to get to do this. So that is part of the manifest that mentally I've accepted and I'm recovering and to never be back to 100%, but at least. Of course, there is a big challenge which I tried all possible ways how to get around it as a result of this exposure I went through. There are certain times when I get very forgetful, and that wasn't part of me, and that was part of that. But I have accepted it. It's part of me now, and I keep going on. Yeah.
So you didn't get any counseling, mental therapy?
Yeah, counseling basically is you. I'm the counselor for myself. The way I talk about my experience, if I don't have anger anymore, I've counseled myself. Talking to people like you about it at the right time, yes, that's part of it. And that's the continuity in the recovery process. So going to a counselor, the counselor again is going to ask exactly the same question you're asking because you're not going to help me in any way. Oh, take sleep or do this or do that. But one specific one that I would really like to talk about, you know, I had paralysis. My entire left at some point ceased, so I became crippled. And only one doctor helped me out of this. Unfortunately, he left the country. He's from it's a German who was working in Kampala. What is it called? There's a hospital near Kampala Parents. Dr. Stockley. He was working with Dr. Stockley, and he's the one who helped me out. The strangest part of this story, when I suffered this paralysis, as a result of the trauma, other doctors were quickly to recommend a surgical procedure. I went through numerous examination to get to know what it is and try to get a remedy. And they only simply came with a cost. You need this much to be able to go through this and that. They need to do. So I was like, oh my God, I cannot go through this here. So when I called my wife and said, no, that procedure in Uganda, no. If worst case scenario, then maybe South Africa. Then we made contacts back and forth, and we realized that gentleman was around, so we got in touch with him. So when I went for examination with him, he cried because he looked at medication I was taking, the terms used by the Ugandan doctors then, describing what the condition I'm going through. I remember one question he asked, who really trained these doctors? I was like, why? And this Muzungu doctor cried again. I said, now this problem, I think I'm done. The condition really seems to be really horrible. No, he did not cry because my condition was the worst of the worst. But the term used was misplaced. It was not the right term. What term was used? They talk of disc collapse. He said a disc collapse? You would not even sit. Even opening your mouth would not be possible. You would not even be able to raise your limbs. You are able to walk with crutches, and they talk of disc collapse. He said the kind of pain I'll be going through will be unbearable. He said, no, this is not right. So he had a skeleton there and then started explaining what a disc collapse means and Then, long story short, he gave me guarantee of 90% I'll walk again. I was like, is this magic or? He said, no, you'll walk again. But allow me to do the following. Number one, discard all this medication. Your best friend should be hot water bottle. Hot water bottle. The only thing you'll do, pay to boil it, make it hot, not boiling. Go and buy that plastic thing. Be with it all the time. Let the water be hot. Place it on your back where you feel the pain. Then ask me whether I had a bath in my house. Said, no, I don't. Said, it's okay, but use hot water. Indeed. And then he put me on the bed. Again, massaged me with his elbow. Yeah, it was painful. It was twisting, pulling, and then he fixed me up. The pain was massive, really. You would think it's breaking me up apart. And indeed, that was the first night I slept. Very peaceful. I was like, wow. From pain to peace. He took me through that. So he subscribed, I think, 24 sessions. I did only 12, half of that. Here I am.
How long did that take?
I was doing it weekly once a week. So no medication, no nothing. he felt so pathetic because of the experience I went through. And then, yeah, he charged me less than what it would cost. And here I am. Don't worry, that guy is like that. It is. It is good.
So James, where are we going? You've invited us to your vehicle, which looks like a farm vehicle. Where are we going? Where are you taking us?
Yes, we are going to a village called Laweno. That's where I have my small farm.
Is this where you do your daily business? Do you?
One of those.
Okay, take us through
It's
your
basically,
your basic day.
My basic day, I start with a coffee in the morning. I wake up, I do brew my coffee, and at times I may have some omelette maybe with bread. Then I take a walk around my house to make sure everything is okay, to water my 2 cocks, make sure the feeds are there.
We can hear them.
Yes. And then, yeah, I open up and then I go into town. The first thing is to check with my business, which is a night business. That is my hangout place called Plan B in town. Take a look, make sure everything is okay, what need to be repaired or stock to be added. I do my balancing, and then I make a few phone calls to check out with my caretaker at the farm how things are like and if there's need, and then I go, because I'm also setting up a dry season kind of farming. I'm trying to do the water system, to put in the solar pumps and those kind of things. And then I'm also, I cross-check with my other smaller business. I'm also setting up for a little small like accommodation. We are laying bricks. Yes, so that's basically my routine.
So now we're going to the farm.
We are going to the farm.
The farm we go.
Yes.
So James, this is us. We have arrived at your sunflower baby farm.
Yes.
Your baby. This one is
Absolutely.
baby number what?
Number 1.
Your first
The
love.
start.
Okay. Show me. I want to see the sunflowers.
Well, here you see them.
This one doesn't
This
have.
is about to bud. That's already budding. This now, of course, flowering.
So why are they bending that side? Are they supposed to be like sprouting
They are
up?
a very good friend of the sun. They connect. So they follow the sun. That's why they call it sunflower. So it will be following the sun. As the sun moves, they will also keep on moving. So when the sun goes to the western side, they will
go as well.
all turn that side. And then in the morning, when the sun is rising from the east, they all begin to struggle from the west to go to the east. Yeah.
So how old are these babies?
Well, It's 1 month,
1 month.
1 month and
They are this long,
3,
longer than me. Actually.
1 month and 3 weeks and 3 days, I think, today.
Oh,
Yes, nearly 2 months.
okay.
Yes.
That's good. You're doing a good job.
I'm trying, and of course, this learning is something really new in me. I've never done this before.
It
So,
doesn't seem like you've never done it before.
well, may look so,
Because
but
they look nice.
they do. They don't really care much about me.
Oh,
I only
But
prepare the
you have-
garden and threw down the seeds, and here we are.
oh, so when you're done, when it's time to harvest,
Mm.
what do you do? Where do you take the flowers?
Well, we shall pick, of course, the mature flower. I don't know how to call them. The mature that. Once the flowers are all down, the seeds will be mature, and then we shall cut them, and then we shall store them somewhere in the compound, and then we trash them to get the seeds out from the other bits. And then we are good to go. Yeah, so I'll store them
In the store.
in that house there. There's one
With
side
the
of
small
it.
one that you said
It
not
is,
enough.
because the harvest is going to be good. So I believe the room is going to be very small.
Because
On the list, I expect at least
how big is
maybe
the land
80
where you,
80
you,
bags.
You planted the
This 4
sunflower?
acres. Only 4
Oh.
acres, yeah.
What inspired you to do this project, the sunflower project?
Well, it was like the second option. My first choice was to do genus, groundnuts. Unfortunately, I couldn't get the seeds on time, and they need longer period to mature before the dry season will catch up with it. So I hunted for the seeds in vain in the market. So the last option was to go for, these are traditional, these are not hybrid sunflower. So I opted for this because they take longer time and they do very well with more heat. So in the drier season, wouldn't really
Than
be
the
much.
hybrid?
Not than the hybrid. I don't know much about the hybrid, but I believe they do better than the hybrid. Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, so how is the market like? Have you done your research on it?
Yeah, the market readiness, and there's not much price drop. It's like an assured deal once you get your harvest proper. Yeah, the market is there ready.
So you're advising other farmers to come and
Let's do this thing.
let's do sunflower.
Let's do sunflower. Yeah, it's a sure deal.
Oh.
Yes.
James, initially you were taking nice shots of such things, and now you're the one giving the props to us and other people. How does that make you feel?
Yeah, it is very satisfying. Once upon a time, yes, I was like them, looking for beautiful sunflowers to take pictures of.
Yes.
Now, I'm the farmer.
Now
I'm now providing the props, the way you call it. Yeah, it makes me happy. Yeah, doing something that yield good results, doing something that gives satisfaction, because I'm sure these camera people are feeling happy about the sunflower. Yeah, so it makes life worth worth the living. Yes. Yeah.
So this gives you
It gives me peace of mind, it gives me a lot of satisfaction. Of course, I'll even be more satisfied when I get the first money from sunflower. Once we harvest and take it to the market. Yes.
When you harvest, you will slaughter a goat.
We shall be slaughtering goat every week, I think, until when we harvest.
After the first harvest, most definitely. Because it's your first time, and you probably have expectations or had expectations. How is it going? How you expected, and then now where you are?
Well,
Have
being
you
the
any
first...
challenges from your expectations?
Well, yeah, with farming, the biggest challenge, and it's like even a fear, it's about the rain.
Yeah.
We constantly look at the cloud. We're a little bit bothered when it is so hot constantly. And then we're also equally worried when it is over raining. So that's the first worry. Number two, being the first plant I've put in this little farm of mine, to believe in the words of the people that this sunflower can do better in the dry season, because I know plants need water. How come this can do better in the dry season? I was a little bit, I was worried. I was very worried. So I had to believe, I had to generate that trust in the guidance that it can do better. And indeed, I wasn't let down, because given the period of time it has taken to get where it has gotten to, and then the 2 rains you have had the last 3 days, I think you're good to go. Even if right now it doesn't rain at all, I'm very, very sure of a bumper harvest. Oh, yes, it's gonna be, yeah.
Yes, yet again we are with James Akena at his farm in Lamin Lawino village in Omoro district. And James is going to tell us, did you have farming as your second option after journalism? Because when you got out of journalism, did you just jump into farming? What was the thought process?
Well, thank you, Laura. I'd loved the idea of farming while I was active in journalism, but had not started it. Had acquired a piece of land and the farm you see where we are at now, but had not started the process of utilizing it. So when I was beaten out of journalism, kicked out, yes, so that's when I started to think of utilizing this land that I had. Yes.
And sunflower?
Well, the sunflower is my first, farming products I've done, and of course, it cost me a bit with the thought what to do. Garden preparation is so important in farming. So this place was full of anthills and shrubs and big trees, which created a lot of shades, unnecessary shades for the plants. So I had to clear and prepare the garden to level it up, because when I consulted with big farmers, this is a small farm, but there are very big farmers around. So there are some experts in the farming industry. They talked of when the ground is leveled, it kind of reduces evaporation, loss of water that the plants need to survive on. So I had to follow that. So I thought I could be planting probably groundnuts, but due to lack of seeds in the market, then I opted for the sunflower, which do very well in the dry season, doesn't need too much water. And then here we are.
Well, James, thank you. We have come to the end of this episode of the Newsroom. Any parting shots? Anything for the young journalists? They have just graduated. Very many out there.
Wow. Yeah, to the new boys and girls in the field dreaming of journalism. It's a good thing to do. But one thing, bear in mind, always have plan B. Yeah, have something else to do beside this. or have many other things that you can do. And above all, beside passion of telling the story, make money.
Important.
Make money because you can invest that money to do other things. Learn to invest. And learn to save.
We get the salary that we talked about.
Is little salary, yeah, find a way of renegotiating your terms and we're good to go. So I will encourage them really to invest while you still have the energy and time.
Well, you've heard it from the main man himself, James Akena. We thank you so much for being part of this episode of the Newsroom. And today we are closing this show saying and emphasizing to all journalists out there, the young journalists, always have a plan B. He said that you heard it clearly. Save and invest as much as you can. Find a way to make yourself responsible after doing journalism. Thank you so much for being a part of this show. My name is Laura Nalugwa, and we shall see you next time. And this is Ukweli Africa. No safety, no story.